Deshaun Watson actually sit out next season? And is it smart for the Hawks to start answering trade calls on Russell Wilson? Happy Friday and good morning, everyone. Jenna Wolf alongside Nick Wright, Brandon Marshall, Kevin Wildes is with us. Nick, hey, at least they didn't let the calls go to voicemail. So it's a step in the right direction.
No, it's not. They actually should be letting the calls go to voicemail. Everyone's lost their mind. We'll discuss it.
No,
they are crazy.
You're on the wrong side of this.
They're tired.
I think you are. We'll get to all that, but we got to start in Pittsburgh, where it appears the Steelers are just going to roll it back. Big Ben making big headlines, taking a pay cut. The team's bringing him back. $14 million. It's going to save around $15 million on the cap for them. Ben said he's more happy to help the teams address other players. He's such a team guy, Nick. Your guy, team guy. But Brandon, let me start with you. Are the Steelers making the right move, bringing Ben Roethlisberger back again?
Look, Jenna, if we knew the Pittsburgh Steelers was an organization that would pick up the phone for Russ and Deshaun Watson, then yeah, they would be making the wrong move here. But they're not that organization. They don't go out and make these type of big splashes. They don't go out there and participate in a major way in free agency. So this is their best option. But the real question is, why not? Like, you have a top 5 defense. You have a defense that can win a championship with a quarterback that just can get it done. Big Ben, it's not that Big Ben can't get it done. That's not the issue. It's his stubbornness to be able, like, I want to hand the ball off, or I want to do things a little differently. He can't go outside of what the offensive coordinator wants to do. Now, I do believe they should sit down and try to figure out what works best for Big Ben, what works best for the offensive coordinator. But Big Ben runs the show, and he's been running the show for a very long time, and they haven't been back to the Super Bowl. So, Nick, I think that this is a start of a transition, and if Big Ben was somebody that would embrace more than yoga and more than a Stairmaster, he might find himself in a good position where he have a good season and maybe he play another year or two.
So I think the Steelers felt a little trapped by their history, trapped by who they want to be as an organization, trapped by the fact that they are considered one of the classiest, most well-run family organizations in sports. And when Big Ben made it clear he didn't want to retire, they weren't going to cut him. And so I think what's instructive here is to talk about how the Steelers got here. And they got here, they started on this path, I should say, September 16th, 2019. Because that's the day after Big Ben had torn up his elbow and they were 0-2, that they traded a first-round pick for Minkah Fitzpatrick. And that was the clear signal that they think we are not ready to transition. We are not ready to take the unexpected opportunity of our quarterback going down to just have a bad year and to get the next quarterback in the building. In fact, they doubled down on that team by trading away their first-round pick to try to make the defense even better. And by the way, Minkah is a spectacular player. Yep. But once you make that decision, you then, just to try to squeeze out an 8-8 year, which is what they did, that set you on this path here. And this path here was, well, I guess we'll bring Ben back. We don't have his replacement in the building. We don't have an obvious way to acquire his replacement. So he'll take $5 million less, and instead of eating our medicine with the cap this year, we're going to eat some this year and then $10 million next year when he's retired. But it's just Wildes. They left themselves without a clear exit path, and I do fear for them. They are about to enter the quarterback wilderness that, at least you and the Patriots will be able to say, hey, we're here too, so don't worry, along with your Patriots and a few other teams, no problem, because they don't have a way forward from here.
Okay, but that's okay, because it's still the real Big Ben. Now, in addition to doing this show, we all have other side jobs. Like, Brandon has got his Health of Athlete empire. Jenna does some training over Zoom and stuff, so you can do a lot of burpees. Nick works for Maverick and Rich Paul. So we all do stuff. I do like a quarterback authentication service. So what you do is you send me your quarterback, and I look at the stats, and I look at everybody. I also do sneakers and watches, but I also do quarterbacks, and I tell you if that's an authentic quarterback. So last year, someone sent me Drew Brees. Like, hey, is this the real Drew Brees or just sort of a high quality variant? And I said, oh, I don't know, 41 and these little dink and dunk passes. This is not the real Drew Brees. Then someone sent me Tom Brady. I said, oh, no risk it, no biscuit, another Super Bowl ring. And that was the real Tom Brady. And the other day, the Steelers organization sent Big Ben to me. It's like, hey, Kevin, what's the story? Can you authenticate this Big Ben? I said, I have good news for you. This is the real Big Ben that we've seen. Threw for 608 passes, second most in his career. Led the league in passes per game, led the league in completions. And you're like, oh, but can he win? Yeah, went 12-3. So I am okay with the Steelers signing Big Ben, Nick. It makes sense. It's still the real Big Ben. It's not Broncos Peyton Manning. It's not Drew Brees, even though he might come back with that pushing that sled in that parking lot. I feel good with the Steelers signing Big Ben, Nick.
Brandon, do you think this is the real Big Ben? Because I don't. I think those numbers are a little misleading. I'm not questioning Wild's authentication service, but I don't think it's the real Big Ben.
That's what you're not questioning.
No, Nick, it is the real Big Ben. No, don't forget what happened the last 4 or 5 games. The last 4 or 5 games, that's where most of those interceptions came in at. That's where a lot of those incompletions came in. He started off hot. They started off 11-0, Wilds. But what happened the second half of the season? Yeah. You know, he started trending in the wrong direction. So I think that is the Big Ben that we saw. And it's not just like, look, if Big Ben embraced morning yoga and the Stairmaster, I truly believe he can go out there and help his team win. But what happens with the understanding that we got to do it a certain way on offense, I don't think they have a true identity on offense. This is a team that's been known for years to power O and take a couple shots. They're not doing that. Big Ben is dropping back and throwing it over and over and over again. He's taking some shots down the field, but he's dinking and dunking as well. So, buddy, Nick, I think the second half of the season is who Big Ben really is.
Well, if that's who he is moving forward, then they're screwed. Because the first half of the year, weeks 1 through 10, he had a passer rating north of 100. And the second half of the year, weeks 11 through the playoffs, he had a passer rating sub 90. And Wilds, I was listening closely to Wilds, the stats. He was like, he led the league in attempts and led the league in completions. That is not exactly necessarily a good thing, because a lot of those attempts and a lot of those completions were just extended handoffs. What was the book on the Steelers but by the second half of the year? They weren't running the ball at all. Instead, they were dinking and dunking, or attempting to dink and dunk their way down the field. Now, let me say something nice about Big Ben, which I don't often or always do. He clearly, and this isn't sarcastic, he clearly really does want to play. Because I understand the cap number and the signing bonus and avoidable year is confusing. Here's what everyone can understand. As far as cash dollars he is making from playing football this year, it's only $14 million. And for one of the 5 highest paid guys in the history of the NFL to sign up for another year, getting paid the least he's been paid for any year in a decade, I think does show he really does want to try to go out on different terms than the ones he would be going out on from the playoff loss against the Browns. I don't know if it will work out for him, but this is the opposite of a money play for Big Ben. The $14 million is a rounding error for a guy who's made $250 million in his career, and he clearly wants to give it one more go, so maybe he'll take the offseason a little more seriously. I don't know. But this was something that he wants to play another year, Jenna, and I think it's not about the money, which is noteworthy.
All right, again, Big Ben signing coming back for year 18 in Pittsburgh. Also, I'm not sure how much yoga Big Ben is actually doing. Maybe elliptical, but I know that the yoga body. Hey, Sunday, don't miss your chance to win $10,000 of Clint Boyer's money during the NASCAR Cup Series race. It's at Las Vegas. Download the Fox Bet Super 6 app. Pick 6 outcomes In Clint's free Stage 2 contest, your shot at $10,000 guaranteed prize. For more, you can always head to the Fox Sports app. We got a break. Much more First Things First right after this.